Somebody said it. I married myself. That's how close. That's how close I got to the Most High. I married myself. Stop running after people. Stop chasing after confirmations. Stop chasing after approvals. Stop chasing after love. I love myself, baby. I love myself so much that I can cry and then comfort myself and then pray and then feel alone. And then right after feeling alone, I feel surrounded by angels. I feel surrounded by so much power. I feel my body vibrate. I feel my soul just start to tingle, like that spidey sense tingling. That's how I feel my soul. Don't worry, my hair it's a little scruffy. That's all good. See the sweat? Yeah, that's all natural. If you can't sweat and if you don't sweat, you gotta look at your DNA. You might have pig in you because pigs don't sweat. And then you gotta get checked out by a doctor because you might have some lumps. You might have some stuff that you gotta fast so that shit can flush out your ass. Yeah, when you realize you're not sweating as you should, or you're not sweating at all, that's when you know you should fast. Drink water so that mucus could get out your body, get out your skin, get out your pores, get out your blood, get out your nose, get out your chin, get out your fucking neck. Get all that fucking shit out. Once you get all that shit out, your brain, your heart, and your soul is gonna start feeling, okay, I'm loving myself, right? I told y'all years ago, focus on the part of your body that you wanna, improve, and then you speak to that motherfucker. You speak to that part of your body, and you don't do it thinking that it's gonna work. You gotta do it the way that I'm speaking to you right now. You gotta do it with emphasis. You gotta command. You can't just think about it. You can't just think about it, you gotta put your thought to it, right? You gotta make your thought complete what you want to happen, right? You gotta pinch nerve, you got a torn meniscus, you got an MCL, ACL injury, you got an elbow, shoulder, neck, back injury. You think about it and you put your thought to it and you tell your nerves, you tell your body, your ligaments, you tell your bones, your muscles what you desire and what you require, what you need. Because if you don't tell your body and tell yourself what you need, nobody's gonna know outside, and your body isn't gonna know inside, and your spirit team ain't gonna know either. And the Astros, they're sitting there watching you, right? You probably got a couple angels that's assigned to you, right? And they're sitting there watching you with a notepad and a pen, waiting for you to, tell them what you want and what you need. But, sometimes I'd be nervous. I'd be like, well, it's selfish to pray for yourself, so I pray for everybody else, and then I pray for myself last. Even if I might forget what I'm gonna wish for, that's okay, because I know when I leave here, whatever I leave with is all the things that I made sure that I spoke to myself and I cultivated within myself. Whatever I don't leave with, I'm gonna leave for my family to do something with it. I'm gonna leave for my children. I'm gonna leave for the world and for the world's children to do something with it. If I put a building up, or if I put if I create a system, that system is gonna be beneficial to the people of the Americas, to the people of the islands, to the people that's not only my people that's natural to the planet, but the people that we allow, to corroborate and to, conglomerate with us, right? Because not everybody is evil, but not everybody is good. And after eugenics, it's easy for you to think that somebody that looks like me is good when they tell you that the devil is gonna come with a soft-spoken voice. The devil is gonna come pretty, beautiful, with everything that you ever asked for, everything that you ever wanted, but it's gonna be at the cost of your soul, and what you actually end up getting is nothing. That's why I love myself. That's why I give myself the love that I've been I've been asking my father for, I've been asking God for, I've been asking my mother and my grandmother, I've been asking the spirits and the angels for, I've been, you know, like not, I'm just talking about what happened, you know, in the previous years. I'm not talking about right this moment. I've not been doing that. I'm just, you know, I'm able to speak on it now because somebody was just speaking on it, right? I'm listening to a podcast and she's talking about how you married yourself. She said some other stuff too, but as soon as she said that, it's like, you know, whenever I told you, whenever somebody says something or you hear a song or something jots in your memory and you just realize, oh shit, that's what it is, right? So that's what it was. So I had to jump on here and I had to let y'all know that's literally what I've been, you know, what I've been experiencing for this past year, right? It's going on a year that I've literally been by myself, right? Jim Carrey said, if you're not willing to downgrade your life for 1 year in order to, you know, have 50 years of success, then you're not ready for that success. And when that happened for me, I didn't want that to happen, right? I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't say, you know, this is what I want, right? I wanted to have my, you know, my working papers and all that stuff first. And then after I started doing all my stuff and started working and all that, then I was going to disappear. But I always planned to disappear because I never felt like, you know, I never felt welcome by my own family. And then when I was living with my sister, she did everything that she could to make me feel uncomfortable in her own house, right? I'm your brother. We came from the same womb, right? I don't give a damn about outside anybody, right? I used to call my family. I used to call my aunts. I used to call my uncles. My late uncle that passed away was the last uncle that I got relationship advice from. Right, my uncle that's in Colorado, I haven't spoken to him because, you know, he was believing all the bullshit and all the lies that my sister and her spouse was telling about me while I was under their roof living in their house. So whatever was said about me in somebody else's house, I could have said anything that I wanted to dead all those lies and to have the truth be, you know, spoken. But when you have somebody that knows how to cry and knows how to play victim so well as my sister, I saw no point in me saying anything. So I just sat there quiet, let them say whatever the hell they had to say, let them tell whatever lies they had to tell. I even heard them talking to their friends, telling lies about me right before, like, you know, I'm in the back room, right? So they don't think that I'm hearing it. They don't think that I'm listening, right? I probably got my music on, but my music is outside, but I'm very sensitive, so I can fucking hear silence, yo. Like I can't explain it, but I'm very sensitive. So I'm tuned into myself, and when I'm tuned into myself, my senses is heightened. So I can choose to tune down the music that I'm listening to right now, so I can hear myself think and I can hear myself speak. So I was able to tune down the music that I was listening to, and I was able to hear them outside. And I'm just listening, and I'm just like, damn, this is my own sister. And I knew for a while that she was always talking shit about me, because with her and her her in-law, they was all like, every single day they got on the phone, they was talking about me and my ex-wife, right? It got to a point where I begged my sister, stop talking about me, stop talking about my wife, stop talking about my relationship in your fucking conversations, because I know you don't have to. I'm strong in my beliefs. I'm strong in my faith. But my ex-wife was not. She believed that, you know, whatever witchery or whatever evil eye, whatever negative shit that my sister was talking, for some reason it affected my ex-wife, right? Because her friend who married my sister, she fucked up the trust that my wife had for me. And she fucked up the stability that I was trying to build with her and my sister. Because regardless of what she said that happened between her friend and my sister and her, whatever she said to my sister, which is her spouse, you know, my sister is gullible. She believed that shit, right? And I don't know if it's my sister scared of being alone or what, but she allowed all that stuff she allowed all that stuff to make sure a wedge was jammed between me and her. And then as that wedge was jammed between me and my sister, it was easy for you to use my sister to jam a wedge between me and my father. And it was even easier for you to use whatever wedge you jam between me and my sister to then have that wedge affect my relationship with my then girlfriend and whatever relationship we was trying to build. And I seen all that stuff. And the thing is, right, I seen all that stuff happening, and I spoke to my girl, fiance, wife at that time. I spoke to her and I told her, right? But she kept on saying, oh, your family talking about this, your family this, and your family. I'm telling her, like, my sister does not account for my entire family. My sister is my sister. However my sister feels, that's how she feels. I can't control how she feels. But you can't believe, and you can't let that, and you can't allow this, and you can't allow nothing that I said was able to allow my wife, fiance, girlfriend at the time, nothing that I ever said was, nothing that I ever said got to her and made her have any faith in me or have any faith in the relationship that we was building together. Nothing. Everything that I said, it was always your family this and your family that. I talked to my aunts, I talked to my father, I talked to my uncle. Everybody is cool. Everybody is okay. They all asking me about her. They all asking me how's LaShonda, how's this, how's that. I ain't even mean to bring up her name, but anyway, they was just asking about her every single time that I called, every single time that I wrote a message, every holiday, every Zoom call, every group family call that we had. They was always asking about her. Why? Because they care about me. So obviously, she is an extension of me to my family, and my family saw how I cared about her, because all I was doing on posting on Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat, whenever we did whatever or whenever we had whatever, I'm a memories and a family-oriented kind of person. So I'm always taking pictures. I'm always uploading videos. I'm always writing this and I'm always showing that and showing off this and doing that. But like, I tried to do everything. And I didn't do it one step at a time. And the one step that I should have took was stepping the fuck away from all of that. And because I didn't step away from all of that, yeah, it helped me build my stance in the physical and in the spiritual and amongst my family and the people that was around at the time, seeing all the bullshit going down, hearing all the lies, believing all the fucking bullshit that was happening, and seeing me step away and then realizing that all that shit was fucking lies and all that shit was made up. All that shit was somebody trying to deflect their responsibility onto me. All that shit was somebody trying to negate their responsibilities and not take accountability for their actions and the way that they have set themselves up, right? So all the truth is able to come out, and all the truth is able to be clear because I had to step away. And I always remember that I've always been the one to have to move away or to have to go away. And I remember talking to my father about that. It was a long time ago, right after I got kicked out, when he left, and he saw me on the streets. I saw my father cry for the first time in my life when he saw how I was living. But I remember asking my father if I could live with him, and he told me no. I didn't want to live with him so I can have a place to stay. I wanted to live with him so I can have a place that I'm able to have a foundation on, so that I can have that security, so I can go to work and build a life for myself, so that I don't have to depend on nobody else. Just like how you taught me not to ask nobody for nothing, not to have to depend on nobody for nothing. So I just had to bite the bullet and do that. And I still think about my big homie till this day, right? Travis Vasquez. I think about my big homie every fucking day, because if it wasn't for him, that's why they say God sends you strangers, because your own family will break your heart. And that's the main reason why I haven't spoken to my family in such a long time, is because You know, you raised me to be one way, and then I go out into the world and I'm using all those teachings, all those lessons, right? And I'm doing the right thing. And as I'm doing the right thing, the same world that you taught me to do the right thing in is telling you lies about me. And you still refuse to believe the child that you sent into the world. You believe that the child you send into the world is like the people that you see on TV, when all I ever do is pray for my family. I make sure I send messages to my family so that they know that I love them and they know that I'm thinking about them at random times. And still, when it was their time to believe in me, they chose not to. So it was a choice that they chose to not believe me. They chose not to believe in me. They chose not to believe in the child that they raised. They chose not to believe in the child that they taught lessons and had to be taught lessons and had to be without. They chose not to believe in me. But God believed in me. That's why I wasn't locked up. That's why I'm not paying for nobody's sins. I'm not being held accountable for nobody else's actions. The actions that I've been held accountable for my actions, right? And that's why I'm alone. And that's why I'm by myself, because I had to learn that when I was putting myself around all these other people, I was putting myself there. They didn't ask me to be there. They didn't ask me to be a part of their circle. I was trying to fit in. That's why now I will never try to fit in. I will never try to fit in. It's so much so that anybody trying to fit me in anywhere, it's war. And I start my war in the spiritual realm. And if it gets to the physical, trust me, I don't give a fuck about the goddamn law. So I make sure I don't fit in nowhere, because I don't fucking fit in nowhere. I married myself and I married my faith, and I'm good. I started back wearing my motherfucking crucifix. I see people wearing crosses now, right? Now people talking about crosses. Look at the hawk. Look at the fucking hawk, baby. Look at the fucking hawk. That hawk stay coming around here. That's my, I ain't even gonna say that. That's my nigga. That's my nigga. But I married my faith. People talking about the cross and the this and the that, but they got the cross from the Ankh, so it's the same thing, right? Didn't they take the cross? Didn't they take the Ankh, right? Re-engineer it into a cross and mock the Most High and hang his son on it? So I'm aware that shit is as a rebellion, or as a rebellious, or as a statement, right? Because y'all use this to show crucifixion and to show witchery and to show whatever ceremony that y'all had and y'all held to have the blood of Jesus washed over y'all. And the way that the story was told back then, and the way that so-called black people was treated back then, it all adds up. That's why I say we are the descendants of the Most High. I mean, we're the original people of the earth. It's not rocket science. And the way that people try to get you to think of it as rocket science, they're all a part of the problem. They're all a part of you being ignorant of who you truly are. If you don't know who you truly are, they can continue to tell you who the fuck they want you to be. If you don't know who you truly are, anybody could tell you who they want you to be. And you might be convinced, and you might be inclined to be exactly who they tell you that you should be or want you to be, because you have no idea who you truly are. My Niji, taking the land back. Anybody that's saying go back to where you come from or go back to Africa, tell them motherfuckers go back to Europe. Especially if they're a so-called Native American. Anybody that's calling themselves a Native American, and then they telling you to go back to where you come from when they came to your fucking lands through an act of Congress, as they were giving away millions of acres of land to their European counterparts. Y'all ain't listened to Martin Luther King's speech, huh? But I'm gonna keep telling my people to go to Dan Calloway, because he's my history teacher. History, my favorite subject. So after I was finished my spirit science and I learned the ancient history, he taught me the immediate history. And then Kala taught me about the parts of the body that I didn't know about, because before I had sex, I was already studying the female body. I got a sister and a sister-in-law. My father telling me don't get nobody girl child pregnant. So I'm horny, but I can't have sex. And females are acting like this. One minute we good, the next minute we arguing. My sister always trying to have a fight with me. They blaming me for this and they blaming me for that. And they blaming me for shit that I don't even know. They blaming me for shit that I'm not even aware that they even have. So when I'm getting asked about shit, it's just a dumbfounded look on my face. So obviously, I have no idea what the hell is going on, but that's neither here nor there. But I had to learn about the body, and I made myself learn about the female body, because I wanted to know, why is it that I'm arguing with a girl over this, and this don't matter to nothing? Like I was so advanced that when I got into relationships, right, I would scare the people that I'm with. Like, I would scare them off, because I would be ready for something that nigga, we still in school. What the fuck you talking about getting married in the future and having children and this, that, and the third? But I was always a futuristic thinker. I was never thinking about, today, and I wasn't just thinking about tomorrow, right? Like everybody thinking about what they gonna wear tomorrow, where they gonna do this and that, where they gonna, who's having a party and who's doing this and who's doing that, what movie this and what movie. I'm thinking about the future, because I remember watching my father go to work and me not having toys and me not having this and me not having that, and I'm thinking about the future. About, I don't want my children to have the life that I had. I don't want my children to have to not have a meal. I don't want my children to not have to worry about, their father have to go work in another country and spend 6 months away when that's the only parent that you have. Like, I'm not trying to have that stuff. Like, I'm still scared to have children to this day, because my mother passed away right after I was cut out of her stomach. So that's a fear that I have, right? It's a fear in me that I don't want to have to go through the same stuff that my father went through. But I have to realize that that's something that my father went through. That's not my future. And once I had to, once I realized what I realized, it just gave me more confirmation that I've been married myself. It gave me more confirmation that gave my life to the Most High. My life has already been forfeit before I was even pulled out of my mother's stomach, because in order for me to be here, right, it was either me or her. She was supposed to not have me. She was supposed to not have another child, because it was life or death, right? Because she was suffering with sickle cell. She had afterbirth poisoning from my sister, and she was in pain. So it was no logical sense or no logical reason for her to go and have another baby. So she did it anyway. So there's a reason that I'm here. I was obviously supposed to be here against all odds, against everybody around her. Me hearing people in my mother's womb talking about how it's dangerous to have another baby, or you shouldn't have another baby, blah, blah, blah. Y'all don't think that the babies can hear all that stuff, but the babies can hear all that stuff. That's why I'm always grateful. Even if I go through shit and I have to get through shit, I'm grateful for it, because other people go through shit and they never make it. So I'm grateful. I married myself because I'm the best motherfucker that I can ever fucking think about being with. That's why I get on here and I tell people, live your fucking life. As long as it's the life that you want to live. Don't live a life that somebody else is telling you to live, because that's not gonna add up to any type of joy for you. Marry yourself, marry your faith, marry your fucking dream. Live that motherfucker. And then you chase all your nightmares. You chase your nightmares away. Marry your dreams and you chase your fucking nightmares away, yo. Simple as that. And then don't allow anybody. I don't allow anybody. Like people be saying stuff. Like my father always told me, you always asking me what you should do, and then I tell you what to do, and then you go and do what you want to do anyway. Yeah. But I listen to my father. My father think I don't listen to him. But I take what my father tell me, and I take what I want to do, and I incorporate what his teachings and what he tell me to do, and I do what I want to do. But I incorporate all of that stuff in it. My father tell me he knows me. He knows, of course you know me. I'm your son, and I know you too. It's you my dad, and I'm you and you me. Certain things that I don't understand, that I don't see my dad doing, or I don't think about my dad doing, that's my mother. That's why I think about that stuff, and it's stuff that I haven't seen before, and it's stuff that I got to think about, and I got to go into the spirit, and I got to go into prayer, because I get those answers from the Most High. I get those answers from Mother Universe. I get those answers from my mother, my grandmothers, my grandfathers, my uncles that's not here, my cousins that's not here. I get those answers. My aunts that's not here. I get those answers from all of them. I'm never naive and ignorant to the fact that death is not real. I'm not ignorant to none of that stuff. I'm not ignorant to evil, and I'm not ignorant to good. I'm very much in alignment, and I very much know and understand, and I'm in understanding and understanding and overstanding of everything and the all. People don't understand the all, so they only understand one part of what they've been told, but they don't understand the fucking all. And then I try to see who understands the all. Not a lot of people understand the all. Some people that do understand the all, they're sitting in Congress right now. They understand the all. They understand so much so that the way that they write their fucking contracts, it will make you think that they're on your side. Whole time they wrote that shit contradicting everything that they said in the first fucking sentence. They write a first sentence, and then the rest of the motherfucking paragraph that they writing for you is contradicting every single thing that they said that they're gonna do. And they write it in a way that you think is okay for you. And they write it in such a way, I can't really explain it, because like this shit is coming to my head as soon as I think about it. But y'all know, right? Every time you go to vote for somebody, they say that they're gonna do this, they say that they're gonna do that. That dude talked about how he's gonna he wants to find the people from Tulsa, the remaining survivors from Tulsa. And then as soon as he got into office, he's saying that he don't think that the taxpayers should pay for something that happened in history. All the while we're sending money to a foreign country that we have nothing to do with. We never took their people and did nothing to their people. But the thing is that their people is in office, so they're going to send money abroad, because the people that's in our offices in this country, they're not from this country, they're from abroad. That's why they're easily sending money abroad. That's why they're always sending money to Europe. That's why they're in NATO. That's why they're not aligned with the African dude that's in power now. That's why they're not trying to align with the Caribbeans. They're trying to take over the Caribbeans, because they took over the rest of the fucking world, right? Europe went to China, and then after they went to China, they fucking found here. And after they found here, they just started fucking everything up. That's why the whole world knows about America, and America don't know too much about the whole world, because America was hiding from the rest of the world. America was hiding from the rest of the foreign entities that came here through a specific type of transport, and we allowed them to set up and make home here in a certain part of the world. That's why in that part of the world, all that shit was going on. And when it came to our part of the world, we didn't know about it, because what the fuck was happening behind our back. It was happening with other tribes that's outside of the Americas and the Caribbean islands. They were making leagues with those tribes that we knew nothing about. And obviously they kept their mouth shut. They married each other. That's why it's so easy for them to deal with each other, and it's so hard for us to deal with them. We got to get a representative to go and talk to them and to see if they would do something for us. But we the ones that own the land. We from this land. Why do we have to beg somebody that's an incumbent to do something for us when we're from here? It's coming to a head in the next couple of years where we're not gonna be voting and asking for shit. There's gonna be eviction notice sticked up on a whole bunch of people's doors. And the children of this land is gonna be the ones letting y'all know who belongs here, who could stay here, who should stay here, and who damn sure ain't gonna be here. And I ain't talking children as little babies. I'm talking children of the Most High. I'm talking children of this land, where you can go under any municipal building, any church or any school, and you find bones of your ancestors on this land, not somewhere in a foreign fucking country. So I married myself. I married my faith. I married the Most High. I married my angels. Me and the Father and my angels. That's the Holy Trinity. That's my Holy Trinity. See how weird? I'm the fruit that came from this tree. The fruit don't fall far from the tree, do it? It's the lineage. I ain't even got my rings on. I should go put my rings on. But I got my prayer ring, and then I got my duty ring, and then I got my ring that represents me, that represents my faith, that represents my promise to myself. Even if I don't have this stuff on, even if I'm just naked, I always remember. I always remember who I am, where I come from, and why I'm here. I never fucking forget that shit, no matter what goes on. I don't give a fuck. I told y'all, I'm a fucking quadruple agent. You got the double agent, you got the triple agent, nigga. I'm a fucking quadruple agent. I'm an agent for the water, the earth, the fire, and the air. But I ain't no agent of evil. I'm not an agent of darkness. I fight those agents. That's why sometimes I get up and I'm tired, because I be whooping ass in the spirit world. So I got to take a couple hours of the waking world to rest. While these motherfuckers is awake and they not doing motherfucking shit in the spirit world, I can get my peaceful rest. I get my peaceful rest. I can't tell y'all what hours I get my peaceful rest from, because y'all motherfuckers gonna fix yourself. Y'all gonna fix y'all whole schedule to be in bed when I'm in bed. I can't have y'all motherfuckers in bed with me. I'm in the bed with the Holy Trinity, baby. I can't have y'all in bed with me. Oh yeah. I'm gonna wait for this bitch to get to 33, then I'm gonna end it.